So going through the treatment, and you had a lot of treatment, you had a lot of up and down, mentally. So how did you cope all in that journey? And the treatment, how strong was it? Are there any side effects during that time?
Yeah.
And how did you cope with those side effects?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have the side effects, like I didn't have that many.
Yeah.
But I also took medicine to keep it down, like what do you call it?
Nausea, anti-nausea
Yeah.
medicine.
Yeah. But I was tired. I was very tired.
Okay.
So I kind of like tried to listen to my body and sleep.
Okay.
But then again, like you can't. You have like you will get fatigue as well. So it's kind of like you have to go against it as well.
Okay.
So they kind of like ask you to do a lot of exercises if you're able to do that.
Okay.
So be active is one.
So what type of exercise do you have?
Well, I was part of a program,
and
with other cancer patients, and it was just we did like different kind of games, ice hockey, kind of like, or not ice hockey but hockey.
Okay.
And well, kind of different exercises and strength workout as well.
Interesting.
So cardio, a lot of cardio on bikes and. So we did different kinds of stuff.
Exercise.
Was
it every day? Is it?
This was every day.
Every
day for
how long?
about 4 hours. Every day 4 hours. Yeah. So actually
that's very
that's intensive.
Yeah.
That's intensive. But you're actually able. That's what they're saying, that you're able to do more than you actually think.
Okay.
So most people would, as I said, be tired and want to lay down and just sleep.
Yeah.
But it does the opposite. Yeah.
We also did a lot of walking.
Walking.
Yeah.
And talking.
Yeah. If you can see your pictures here,
Yeah.
you have different style of hair.
Yeah.
This is one of the side effects of it.
Yeah.
How did you cope on this?
Well, to start with, it was very scary.
Yeah.
First of all, just the thought, as I also said, losing the hair, and you're told that you only have like, I think it's 2 weeks, and then you start losing your hair from you start the treatment. So it goes fast. Yeah, it goes very fast. And so I went to, and this was also because I talked to other former patients.
Okay.
And one gave me the advice: go before you lose your hair. Go before, kind of when you still feel like you.
Okay.
That you look like.
Find a wig.
Yeah. Then when you look like yourself and you feel okay, then go try to find a wig and try it on.
Yeah.
Because at least at that point you're not, just want to hide away. I guess.
Yeah.
Because once you lose your hair,
you kind
of want to hide. You don't want to be out in public, and you don't want people look at you and being, kind of like having that look, she's sick or something like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of like want to be ahead of it, and I did that. So we went, both of us actually went, and this was during the corona, so we were not allowed to have a lot of people there, because otherwise I would actually have brought some of my girlfriends as well.
Okay.
Just for them to be a part. Yeah, exactly. And kind
make
of
a thing of it.
Yeah.
So those small things counts.
Yeah, they do.
They help.
But they also counts because it's like the smaller things that you can kind of like take the power of, if I can say it like that. It's kind of
take
like
control of.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be one of the things that you can do for yourself. And I bought a wig, and I think I wore it a couple of times. But then actually I felt okay. I actually found out that I felt better without the hair, because I was also feeling okay, and I think it became where it's like I had more comfort, kind of like in not wearing the wig, because it felt like it was not me. So for me to be without it or being able to actually put it on. There were times where it's like, okay, now I just want to feel kind of like normal. Yeah.
So cancer is not only about the treatment, it's not the pain, but it changed your outlook as well.
Yeah.
So for women, for girls, this is very important.
Yeah. So very sensitive for sure.
So this is kind of the side effect of it.
Yeah.
So you're trying to hide, you are a person of that, everything has to be hide. That's why you are.
Yeah.
So COVID helped you as well.
Yeah.
Coping with this.
Yeah.
But how did you feel when you first were seeing her losing the hair every day?
We were in the process together.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we just.
Have you seen anyone that lost hair before? Was it your first time seeing your love?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I don't even know that I've seen.
Yeah. So what did you do to support her? Because women love to have their beauty.
But I think we went in the process together, and we and in the beginning I offered to
take off
shave in the wig,
Okay.
but the wig place said that they didn't recommend that. They should do it the professionals.
Okay.
So I was there with her. I filmed it.
Yeah.
And we tried to just.
Okay.
I wouldn't say have fun with it, but somehow.
Yeah.
And then because of course for Hannah it wasn't. It wasn't so bad. Once it happened, she was okay with it.
Yeah.
She was nervous about it, but once it happened, she looked pretty good, and she was balanced about it, and she was okay.
So if you see this picture, this is special from the hospital.
Yeah.
What memory brings you back when you see this today?
Well, that picture, it kind of brings back. That was, I think, actually the first time. So that was when I actually had the allergic reaction.
Okay.
So that's what it brings back to me, that I remember the reaction.
Yeah.
And those cold mittens.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you?
They were quite
that
painful
time?
for you. To
How do
have
you
on.
view it now when you see this? When you go back to that?
It's, for me, it's like also looking at it's kind of like, it feels like it's a long time ago. And I would say when I look at the pictures now and those, it kind of like feels that it was not me. And also just going through like the steps for losing the hair was it doesn't look like me, kind of like those. And I think I look more sick than I actually felt. I felt better, but when I look at the pictures, I think I look more sick than I actually was.
So what is your advice for women that in early age, they could be young, they could be, especially girls with the long hair, and what's your advice on this for anyone is having this kind of process now, or they would have it in a few days, a few weeks, because cancer is just everywhere today, I think.
Losing the hair, you mean?
Yeah.
Mentally, psychologically.
Well, I think first of all, it's like I would say finding actually. I think the store, the wig store, they actually helped a lot.
Okay.
They kind of like, they made this safe space for me. And when I got there, I remember the first time I was there, I asked them kind of like if, if they could just or I should cut my hair shorter. And I remember one telling me, it's like, it's gonna be short. So no matter what, you're gonna.
And you told them to try first the long one.
Yeah. Just do something shorter or something. But they were like, you're gonna have short hair no matter what. So you're gonna go through all the.
What was in your mind when you told them try the first one, the long one, before they can take it off? That's why it says on the book.
Well, it was. It's kind of like that process. I would say in this situation was maybe more fun. Yeah. Maybe. Because
you want to see yourself with different kinds of style.
Yeah, because I could try different styles and
you always thought about
be all gray hair or something like that. Even though one day I'll become. Yeah. But I think it was more. It's kind of like in that situation. It sounds a little bit weird, but it was a fun moment, kind of like trying these different kind of styles, and just. Being able to put it on and then, no, I don't want that. Can I have something else? Can I have longer? Can I have shorter? Can I have this or that? So it actually became
gray,
like a good,
blonde.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you more girlish? Did you grow up with dolls and playing with hair?
No, actually not.
Yeah.
No, I was more like a boys girl. So for me, it was more.
For you, does it mean your long hair? Is it the beauty of that? Where you had always kind of between short and long hair?
No, I have a different type of look.
But
So
not
I've
short hair.
Yeah.
Not while I know you.
No, but before you met me, I had like short hair.
Yeah.
So, but it's I think that was not the problem. I think it's the whole thing that you are gonna be bald.
Yeah.
And you are gonna lose your eyelashes. You're losing everything.
Yeah.
So it's not even the short hair that was the problem. It's just more that you're completely without anything.
With the eyebrows.
Yeah, everything it's gone. So that's scary. That's completely.
This is very important for women.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was your advice for women out there?
But today, I would say it's something that you can do. If you feel it's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's like today, you can get eyebrows printed, or you can do something.
Yeah, the artificial ones.
I think
and you can also do a lot of stuff. So or with lashes as well. So there are stuff that you can do if you feel so kind of like how can I put it? Naked.
Yeah.
I would say, because it is kind of like feeling naked, as I said. It's like you're scanning the face and saying, okay, there's something wrong. So you can do small things, and I would still say that the wig or a hat as well can do a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah. So in short, in your chemo treatment, what was the pain and how did you go through that?
The pain, I guess, like the pain was when they did when they had to put in the needles. And my trick is, well, I will always look away. I'll never look at it.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't want. It's not because I can look at it when they do it, but I will look away. So it's like just giving them the time to do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
And I guess there is no trick to. It's just you. You're hoping that they are going to be good ones. I would say good nurses, and they know what they're doing. Yeah.
So, okay, good. I don't want to take you back to the pain of the process of the treatment, because it's already in the book, so anyone can read it.
Yeah.
But asking again, which is getting better health. How did you feel the first time when you see her? She's improving. She was improving.
I don't think we didn't feel like we got that.
No.
Never felt that way, because there was always just something new. So it wasn't cancer anymore. Then it was something else.
Okay.
And it became actually worse and worse. So
Yeah.
the whole feeling of now you're cancer free, you don't,
Yeah.
you're okay now, it never came. It was actually, it just got worse and worse and worse.
So that's the title.
Yeah,
The
that's why
reason
the title is
Yeah.
cancer free but still sick, because it didn't feel like it was, well, no problem.
It's just a reminder that you're closing at 6 o'clock. I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask, as a last round, do you want anything else? Like
Oh,
No, it's okay. You can take it.
Okay, no, we're okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sorry about this, but
Sorry.
we'll try to make it quick. Yeah.
No, I think that whole, like, you expect a moment when it's like, oh, cancer free,
Yeah.
yay, but it never came.
Yeah.
It just became
Comes
worse and
back
worse and worse and worse, and it wasn't about cancer, it was about all kinds of other things that obviously doesn't kill you, but it was very hard to be in. For Anna, it just got psychologically worse and worse. And for me, also at that point we were worn down, so we never had that moment where it's like, oh, it's over, let's celebrate. It never came.
Okay.
Maybe now.
Yeah.
It's the time when we can say,
Yeah.
maybe somehow now we wrote,
now you already wrote the book and
exactly, now I feel
Yeah.
like now we wrote a book and we're talking about it with you, and we saw you in London and talk about it, and now it kind of feels like a period. Like now it feels like it might be over.
Yeah.
And it feels better, and we can sort of. Don't
But
think.
because it's like it's not that then you have a fever and then you kind of like you lay down, you feel sick, and you're on top of it, and then
It's
The
also-
cancer treatment is kind of like not like that because
Yeah.
it's for
a
such a
life
long
cycle,
period.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you get the treatment and then you or the chemo and then you get the operation or the opposite way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But then once you're out, it's a very slow process because it's kind of like, as I said, it's the devil you have inside of you. You're never
Yeah.
able to face it.
I'm
I
glad
thought
you
I was gonna face it once I lost my hair and
Yeah.
everything, but it never became real. Kind of like it was just they're doing something to my body, so
Yeah.
it never became like real. And maybe that sounds weird, but it's just like they give you something, I would say, and then
Yeah.
you see you lose your hair, and then
Yeah.
but you kind of like, because I didn't feel like sick,
Yeah.
so it was just more like this worn out and fatigue that kind of like came slowly.
Yeah.
And then you're in that moment, and then that's the everyday life.
Yeah.
So it's this part where
So it's kind of non-stop life cycle
Yeah.
once you get the treatment
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And, but how did you cope this, the hopeless coming up from this yourself, mentally?
Well, I think for me it was like I didn't.
Or I can ask, what was the trigger to get into that low mood?
Well, I think that I don't think there was a trigger. I think it was just slowly that it came to the low mood.
Okay.
Just slowly becoming, because like I
Slow
went
it down.
through different phases and I went through different illness as well that came maybe because of the chemo. So it's like I never reached to the top of the water. I was just laying there kind of like soaking in
Soaking in.
and not being able to breathe like completely free. So I think it was something that came slowly without me noting it. And I think it was first after maybe the third time when I had like the psychological breakdown.
Yeah.
And I went to treatment again, and they kind of like, they saw that I had a depression as well. Now it kind of like made sense because I never felt like happy.
Yeah.
Like
Just numb.
just numb, yeah. And I thought it was just because, everything that had happened, everything that kind of like I went through. So I was like, but I didn't like kind of like had that, okay, now I'm looking forward to this and that. No, it was just more like, numbness, yeah.
So who identified that you are in depression?
It was
The doctor or the nurse?
the doctor,
The doctor.
yeah,
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
yeah.
What made you go into the psychiatrist?
Because I had the breakdown.
Okay.
So
Was in the hospital.
Yeah.
She was admitted.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's part of the hospital.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you feel the first chat, the first appointment with the?
Well, I wasn't at, I wasn't calm because once again, I kind of thought she was against me.
At that point, she was psychotic.
Yeah.
So when you felt someone is against you,
Yeah.
what was inside your mind? How did that start? Because of the pain? Is it the medicine? Or is it?
No, it's something, this came out of a longer period of maybe pressure and stress to myself.
Yeah.
Because I started a new job and then, just getting into a new job and learning.
The first time
people.
I had them was before that.
Yeah,
It was just a mental overload.
yeah,
Okay.
It was like the
Yeah.
whole thing was a wearing down of Hannah's mind.
yeah,
And at some point, who knows the reason, but at some point it became too much and her mind went into a psychotic state.
Yeah. So did this get worse during the treatment? Is that what you're saying, or is it?
No, during the late effects.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was still
Yeah.
the chemo.
Yeah. During the chemo.
yeah.
There was it was the preventive chemo
Yeah.
along with late effects like that was physically very painful, and
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
something triggered her mind to like something stressful,
Yeah.
and because her threshold of taking stress
Yeah.
was
Very
way
low.
low,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it became
hits her.
psychotic.
yeah.
Okay. So you were treated for 1 week or 2 weeks, or how was that?
First time.
Well, the
like
first
2
time
weeks.
I was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Okay. So So mentally you were treated, psychological,
yeah,
you were fit to that, and
Yeah.
you came out from there,
yeah,
and you were good.
yeah.
So how did you support yourself to be good on psychological and mentally fit to this treatment?
Now, or
Not during the treatment.
well, during the treatment, well, it helped slowly.
Yeah,
So I just had like more focus on being more careful, I would say, to myself, and then
So you get more
But
time
also
for
you
yourself.
didn't work and you slept and you traveled. But I mean, I guess we could say that you didn't know how to. We didn't know.
no,
It was
that's
only
true,
now
yeah.
after the third time we
Yeah.
have awareness of it.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
didn't know they could just happen again and again.
No,
So we didn't
You were not aware of the,
know.
no,
yeah.
We thought that okay, that happened. Let's
Yeah.
One
move
time.
forward. And
Yeah.
medicine, of course, and stuff. But we
Yeah.
didn't know that could happen again.
No.
So like your true the recovery from it is now. I would say. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But
yeah.
like
No,
now you
no.
know that you have to. Now we know that you have to. If you don't sleep, and now we know all the things
Yeah,
to be, stay
yeah,
ahead of it.
yeah.
But not only now.
And now I know as well that I have to be careful, not being stressed, I would say, or being pushed out too far out, kind of like, especially for when it comes to work
Yeah.
as well. So I have to be careful not to pressure myself too
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
So I'm very aware of that part
Yeah.
and taking care of that part. So I'm sure.
So you're
that-
trying to manage your lifestyle,
the load,
the work, all the work that you have.
and also how much
Sure
I
to
actually
sleep
do,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
Sleeping as well,
Eat
and
and
exercise.
Sleeping
And
is an
exercise,
exercise.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
important, especially
So
sleeping.
Yeah.
so and I do exercise with a friend of mine, so
Yeah.
so she keeps me as
Ah,
well
okay.
to the point where it's
Yeah.
like
Let's go back to menopause. This
Yeah.
is the first time we met in London.
yeah
You mentioned you have the early menopause.
yeah.
What does that mean? What is menopause? If you can tell us.
Well,
In short, yeah.
menopause in short, yeah, it's kind of like your body reacting,
Yeah.
and I would say for here it's like maybe it's some of it is physical, so it
Yeah.
hurts. Your body starts to hurt,
Yeah.
kind of like your muscle, kind of like you can get muscle pain, and then it's you overheat. Kind of like you feel cold or you overheat, it changes just suddenly,
Yeah.
like very fast. So you kind of like, for me, it was like I was almost sweating, just sitting still and just sweating.
During the daytime.
Yeah, during the
Okay.
daytime,
During
or
any
at
time.
nighttime.
More
At
times,
night,
yeah.
yeah, all day, all
And you
night.
become more sleepless on the night.
Yeah,
Okay.
had difficult time with sleeping actually.
So how do they treat this to have the early menopause? What do they do, the doctors?
They didn't do anything. For
Okay.
me, they didn't do anything. It was just they prepared you, kind of like they told you, okay, this can happen or this will happen.
Yeah.
You'll be put into early menopause.
Mhm.
So there wasn't any treatment for what I
So when
went
they
through.
say early, how do they do it to have the early menopause?
It's the chemotherapy.
Okay.
It's a chemotherapy that stops your
Cycle.
the cycle,
Mm-hmm.
for your body or
Your
your
hormone change.
yeah.
So what was exactly happened to you, physically, mentally, when they did that, the early change?
Well,
So
yeah,
the chemo is the medicine which was inside your body,
yeah,
and that has changed your hormone,
yeah.
your menstruation life cycle.
It stops.
It stops your
Yeah, so I
menstruation.
don't have that anymore.
Okay.
That's done.
Right away when you started getting chemo. It
Yeah,
stopped.
yeah.
So it stops right away.
Yeah.
So what was the side effect from the menopause? Like your body, you were not sleeping well, the heating.
The heating for
Yeah.
sure, and then I would say
Fatigue.
fatigue. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, but for sure that part, and I think it's still there. So
Mhm.
I think that part is still there,
Yeah.
and it's hard once you go through the whole chemotherapy because it's
Yeah.
like what is what, kind of like, is it because of the chemo or
Yeah.
is it the menopause or
Yeah.
is it what is actually this or
It's
that?
very hard to differentiate between
Yeah,
these
yeah,
two.
yeah. So now I would say because I'm on the other side, it's kind of like I'm still dealing with it because I am still in menopause. They thought because I'm so young,
Yeah.
my body would find its way back to its
normal.
normal cycle, yeah.
But
But
it
it hasn't. It hasn't. So
Okay,
yeah.
so this is the side effect of the.
Yeah, so this is definitely the side effect.
Okay.
So it's more like I have to be more. Is there something, are there vitamins or are there stuff that I could actually take that can lower maybe some of the side effects?
Yeah.
But I would say some of the medicine I think they're giving me now for my psychosis and the depression, it also helps a little
For
bit.
menopause.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get, where it's like I get heated up and I get I sleep better.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's good. But it goes ups and downs. So I think, and that's also what menopause it goes ups and downs.
Especially with the
Sometimes.
stress with work.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
your
yeah.
hormone change.
Sometimes.
But does it affect you with your relationship? And menopause that's what it does.
No.
Yeah.
I guess that's for you to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Are you more less?
Because sometimes when you have the kind of sexual and you have pain, when you have menopause, you have drying of your
Yeah.
I
The
don't wanna
vagina,
get
yeah.
vaginas, all that.
But I
So-
think I would say, to be honest, I think Casper and I are still finding our way back as well to being couple.
Yeah. So what is your advice, Kasper, for those men when their wife, their girlfriend, their love, they have menopause during the cancer? So what kind of
I mean,
advice
for me-
would you give and the patients? Because this is very important. Because
Yeah, I guess so, but I think in our situation, it became more about all of it.
yeah.
So I couldn't just focus on one thing and say, oh, that's the menopause. Or
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
the-
saying them, but
No,
for the
but I
relation
mean,
side of
yeah, but so for the relationship also, it's like, for me, it's like, am I a caregiver or am I the boyfriend?
Yeah.
And trying to make sure you're not the
manage.
caregiver
Yeah.
always is
Okay.
important, because otherwise
Yeah.
it's not a relationship, then you're just someone who helps
Yeah.
a sick person, which is important to do, but at some point you also have to
So
be
you
a
have to
couple.
balance it. So you kept that.
Later.
What technique did you use to do that?
There's, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it's
Okay.
like just to like show emotional love and hug and kiss and whatever, and just do something that's not related to illness.
Yeah.
Go to the movies, take
Yeah.
a trip, do whatever. Like try to not think about and talk about illness the whole time. Like I have a friend that had cancer, and the way they did it was like they had a room where in that room they weren't allowed to talk about cancer.
Okay.
They were free from it. But for us, it became more organic. We didn't need like to have a room where you couldn't do it. We just needed to like organically talk about it and feel like, I think we're good at just being together.
So you had a good communication relationship.
Yeah. And so communication, and also if you
Yeah.
feel like I will work out and release my thoughts and whatever, and try to. But if something is nervous or whatever, or I think we're talking about it is important.
But I think there's also a thing, and that's also not be scared about touching each other, like kind of like, the hug, as you said, like the hug, just the head, everything, kind of like not being scared of that part as well, because that's where you kind of like feel more, maybe you're not intimate, but then you actually feel that you're still there, kind of like, so that's also important, not being afraid of touching each other or your head, or because you have.
But it is hard on a lot of couples. I hear about it all the time.
You hear a lot of problems.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, a lot of
relationship
couples
breaks.
breaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
So what's your advice for that?
I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
sure.
Sorry.
Let's get back to the menopause.
It's sort of
Because
organic.
Yeah.
It's our process is organic, sort of
Yeah.
like the illness and the depression, and it just happens. It's like a slow
So
it.
my advice would be to be more patient, because people recover from
Yeah,
their
yeah.
disease, because I was paralyzed and I'm here to speak to you.
exactly.
I was able to see it.
It's same organic. You don't do it one night, and
But I felt that I was pushed away from my close family. All that.
That's
So,
not great.
but getting to the menopause, you have normally menopause starts in the early stage, pre-menopause.
Yeah.
What age do they start normally? Not because of the cancer, but as a normal age. Do you know about this?
I think when you're like early, 50, maybe late 40s.
Yeah.
I think that's when it starts. So I'm 45 now, so it's not because
But you were
I was
41.
I was 41 when
You had it.
I had the cancer. Yeah.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot of menopause early stage as well.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
can have 40s,
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
30s as well.
But I think once if you're earlier, if you're in your 30s or something, I think, and then they do even more to protect your body. If I call it that they do even more to protect your body, so the body can return
Early.
to its normal cycle. So they do everything that they can to actually protect you.
Okay.
So they give
With
you
cancer,
but they actually give more. I think it's hormones that they actually give on top of it.
Okay.
To kind of like, so they're sure if you're that young, they will still do more stuff to actually protect, so the body can return to its normal cycle. Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen many, for the last few years, we've seen many people having menopause and getting advice. There is few online as well, you can get that.
Yeah.
Were you aware of this?
No, because it wasn't something, it's new thing, so, and I think there's also something about it. Casper and I, we don't have kids. I haven't been able to actually have kids.
Okay.
So for me, it was like, it wasn't a big thing, if I could say, but maybe if I was younger, it would have been a very big thing.
Yeah.
And but now it's kind of like, okay, now my body is here, so I think it's more now that I'm kind of like curious about, can I do something that kind of can lower some of the side effects, or sleep better, or and I know that there's stuff now that you can actually gain from the doctor or something that can help you a little bit, that can kind of lower like the side effects.
For those normal women without of cancer who has menopause, some of them they start early age. During 40s, 41, 22, some of them start late. So what's your advice for those?
They should go to the doctor.
Okay.
They should actually go and have a talk to them, because they are able to maybe help you, or maybe give you something, or advise you what to actually do. So there's a lot of stuff on the internet, but I guess it's better to start with your doctor and see if they can give you some advice, because they are professional.
Maybe medicine even.
And there's so much on the internet, so you don't know what's actually good or bad, or what actually worked. So I would suggest just go to your doctor and have a talk with them first, and then go from there. And then once again talk to other women, perhaps that who has been going through the menopause.
Always
and
good
if
to
they have,
talk to people that
it's
are in the
always
same
good to
situation.
reach out.
So normal women, when they have menopause, how long does it last? In terms
of I don't know how long. I think it can be for years, many years. So it can go up and down. It can be more heavy at one point, and then less at another point. So I think it goes ups and down. So, but I think for maybe some can have it for 10 years. Maybe less. So I think.
So some of them they change the behavior during menopause. They get more quick. Angry.
They snap.
Tempered,
all that. So how do you describe this, and how do you advise people to tolerate this, be patient, the two sides of it? Because I've seen a lot of family being break down because of this.
I think it's, once again, it's kind of like, you register that you actually, this is what it is. You
have to accept it.
Exactly. You have to accept it. This is actually the start of it, or something. And then I would say, of course, go to the doctor and see what they can do. But I think also for the family as well, kind of like talk about it. I think it's the key word for a lot of it, kind of like talk about it, and being like, my body is just not what it used to be like, so it has changed. So there will be these, once you get overheated or something, you are even more easy to snap, or you have like a shorter leash for that part. So I think, once again, kind of like share it with your family, that you're having it is a tough time, so it's not a fun time to go through.
What's the effect? What is the side effect of the menopause? Is it depression, anxiety?
I'm actually not sure, but I think, I think a depression can come as well, because it's kind of like your body is so much, can be so much
Yeah.
out of balance. Yeah, so you're missing the hormones.
But-
You're not sleeping at night, you're
Yeah.
not functioning well. It's also the fatigue, it's at work, you kind of like, you can't remember stuff. It's just, it's a lot to take in at one time. So
Yeah.
so that's why I'm kind of like, if you are able to get some help with it,
Yeah.
for sure, I would suggest
So you
kind of
feel-
like try to seek that part, just to be able maybe to lower it a little bit or
Yeah.
make it easier. But it is a lot of to take in at one time because it just happens and it comes out of nowhere. It's
Yeah.
like maybe it is in the small and you don't notice it,
Mhm.
but suddenly it's just there.
Have you seen any women, they react, change, they behave because of the menopause?
No. Now I'm thinking of, elder women and my mom. I remember Casper's mom. I remember her.
Mhm.
Maybe she's been the one that I've seen having these heat
Heat flashes.
yeah,
Yeah.
where she needs to pull out her or take off her clothes and everything.
Mhm.
So I think she's the one that I've experienced the most where I've seen it.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been like her
Temper.
mood. No, it hasn't reacted to her mood.
Same with you. I don't think your temper.
No,
is
I don't
not
think
so-
my mood is kind of like, I think
I've heard
more
about
maybe,
that too, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, once again, I'm not sure. Maybe the depression is actually part of it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Might be.
Because what happens is during menopause, you lose your hair as well.
Can, yeah.
You can, yeah.
So this is more kind of for women,
Yeah,
they're losing
yeah,
their beauty.
yeah.
And they going through that process, the life cycle.
Yeah, and I know you can also get like pills, for, now we're even more for the vagina if you're feeling more dry, and
Yeah.
you can get stuff for that part as well that helps you.
Mm-hmm.
So there are for sure stuff that you
Yeah.
are actually able to do. So that's why I would still go back to the part where it's like talk to the doctors or
Yeah.
something and see if they can help you with
Sure.
ease those side effects.
Yeah. So
Take it
last,
serious. That is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
the last capital,
Yeah.
6 free fell här antar ditt syn på liv. Give me what's the summary of these two capitals, Casper?
The last, just trying to.
The
sorry.
free fall is
It's just the free fall was just when it all became real and it
yeah.
was climbing and almost
Okay.
fell down, and that's why it's called free fall, I think.
Yeah.
But that's when it became real. What we went through. You asked me what it was like, but
Yeah.
you're in mode,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to solve it after the
Yeah.
emotional reaction came. But I guess to sum it all up, in the end, is like where are we now? And after writing the book and talking, I mean, we are in a good place. So we've tried to learn from this illness, from this experience, and we try to move forward, somehow better and knowing more
Yeah.
and being present with what we can be together as a
Yeah.
couple, but also as individuals, trying to
Yeah.
have a different approach, a better approach to be more balanced and
Yeah. So does that change your syn point of life?
kind of. Yeah, not like a. But like somehow, like again, organically changed from one to another, like being more focused on being more happy, being more present, being
Yeah.
more focused on what makes us happy,
Yeah.
what makes us happy as a couple, as me
Yeah.
as a person,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I would say it's not so much, what's going to happen in the future. It's actually more being
The
present.
now, yeah.
It's being in the now
Which
because
is very important, vital for our life.
Yeah,
Being
yeah,
well-being and all that.
so it's
And also
actually,
enjoying the moment.
yeah. So it's actually not, I didn't, now I have to do this or that or all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff because
It's not like there's a bucket
life
list
is
or something.
No,
It's
life
more
is
like
short.
enjoying
Yeah.
meeting
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
being in the moment,
Meeting
talking.
people,
you
yeah.
know.
So how do you manage your time now after the cancer?
Well,
Do
I
you use
think
any digital calendar to just take off your head? Or do
no,
you
definitely
push,
at work I'm better at using a calendar.
Yeah.
Like for that part, I'm better at that. I have to do that, so I'm working on that part. And then I would say maybe more like taking in like all the little stuff as well, kind of like being better. Yeah, as I said,
Treating
being
yourself well.
Yeah.
Also
and-
trying to be not doing stuff because you think you have to, but because
Okay.
you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we try to, and that could be anything
Yeah.
from like
You're trying to limit
laundry
those
to like
Yeah.
going to a dinner. You know,
Yeah.
like do we really want to go, or do we go because we think we have to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Try to
Yeah.
go do the things we want to, and
Yeah.
of course, there in life you can't always do
Mhm.
that. You have to do
No.
something. That
So
you
your
want
advice is to manage your time, to spend your beautiful time together and be...
do what makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to get the
So the
most
little
joy
thing-
out of life.
Actually, I had a friend.
enjoy the little
yeah,
things.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
actually had a friend of mine, and I kind of like I have it in my
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
that she kind of like told me to. She was, you know, not to live also through the week, not
Yeah.
just for the weekends.
Ah,
And I
okay.
think that's kind of like maybe that's a lot of saying in that
Yeah.
part where it's like it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
Celebrate the little moments.
Yeah, exactly. The everyday life,
Yeah.
celebrate that kind of like, and now,
Yeah.
yeah.
You wrote about your parents, you wrote about your parents as well, your friends, all that. What's the summary of having parents and family, brother and sister, when you met your sister and brother, when you went back to Jutland?
Yeah.
So how do you see this support going you through this process?
I think it's
Very
a
important.
huge part.
Support
It's-
system is
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a huge
not
part
alone.
Yeah.
because it's kind of like
Did this get you closer as a family?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think for maybe not all of them, but some of
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
it's for sure it had brought me closer to them,
Okay.
and it's brought me closer to for sure my parents.
Yeah.
Like we didn't talk every day, but now we talk every day. So we
As
just
a
have a
family.
phone call
Yeah.
and we just chat a little.
Yeah.
So that's for sure has brought us
Brought us
closer.
in,
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a post.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
This is what I want to see in your book. How
Yeah.
in the next
More of
edition
that.
of
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
I want to build that if you can.
Yeah.
This is what my advice. I want to see the current, I mean, the existing process you had,
yeah,
plus the post life cycle of that, the psychological.
yeah,
Thank
How
you.
do you bring that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how do you
That's good.
flower that, and
Yeah.
how do you empower? How do you bring together?
yeah.
That could be your next edition.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very
Thank you
much
for
Thank
that.
you so
Thank you for
much.
that advice.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Welcome.
talking to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
appreciate
this
it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
Yeah. It's good, but thank you very much. I really love this book. I think this is in Danish.
Thank
and
you.
They will translate
We'll-
it in English
we'll be-
very soon. But if you don't have it, buy it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.